is, mate. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today is Thursday, March 14th, 2024. We are moving along. We're already just about halfway through through March. We're already halfway through March. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? If you do not know who I am your host of the channel and of the show. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. What do we do on this channel? We do a lot of stuff, but it's all related to tech, right? So we do some coding, we do some quality assurance, we do some infrastructure, we have a Q&A night, we do some mobile development. We do everything, different days to gain more experience, to help you level up. I am a senior QA engineer. I have been in QA for the past 15 years, and I've been doing automation for the past 12 years. I have a lot of experience in different technologies and different like coding languages, different familiarities. So I've pretty much seen it all. I've done it all, and I am here to help you, help yourself. All right. So that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's get into our agenda. We got a lot of work to do. What we're going to be working on tonight is we're going to be continuing working through the Free Mind Recovery site by my good friend Jared at Calculus Coder. His YouTube channel is Calculus Coder. Definitely check him out. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out these errors that I was getting. Finally got it to work. So we are going to have some fun with that. Going to continue doing the automation. But let's get into our agenda for tonight. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be working on Free Mind Recovery, continuing to refactor and do automation. So first and foremost, like I always like to do before we even get started, I want to say a thank you to all of the newest subscribers as well as my existing subscribers. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing friends.
I appreciate you.
As well as my tech barbarians who are growing, who are putting in the work. We'll talk about coaching a little bit later, probably during a break, or maybe before we actually get started into the work. But the people who sign up for coaching and who actually take advantage of what's being offered and put in the work, like treating it as your, if you really say you want something, how hard are you willing to do it? So shout out to the tech barbarians out there. Okay. Now I want to share the live show schedule so you can catch me when I'm live. And anytime I'm live and you're in the chat, we can interact. I can answer your questions. All right. So we have our morning show right now. It's on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time, where we review some news stories and we do some mobile app development through Flutter. So we've been doing that since the beginning of the year for the most part. So definitely you want to tune in and join us for that. That show is called Coffee and Kata. Kata is a term for practice. It's like I think it's a Japanese word, I believe, but it's for practice, right? So practicing martial arts. So we apply that to what we're doing here, always practicing to get better in everything that we do. Sunday afternoons, we have software explorations where we are going through Terraform. We are learning Terraform to do infrastructure as code. That way, it helps us, have cleaner architecture, cleaner code, so that we can easily deploy. Tuesday nights, we do our Q&A session. So if you have questions, I will do my best to give you an answer to those questions, as well as questions that I find around the internet that I, bring to you, and we can answer them and we can discuss them. All of that good stuff. You hear my thoughts. Thursday nights, tonight, we have more software explorations focused on QA. In the next coming weeks, not sure, we probably won't have a show next week, or if we do, it'll be a modified version of a show, because I'll be a little bit out of town. But in the coming weeks, we are going to be jumping into API testing. So I know a lot of people are interested in API testing. We'll explore that in a manual way through Postman or Insomnia. And then we will also be getting into the automation of API testing, and we can look into that with Java, with Python, with JavaScript, with Playwright, things like that, different tools. And we can learn, and we'll spend a few weeks doing that, just the same way we were working on Selenium, Cypress, and Playwright on the Free Mind Recovery site, right? So, we just work here, and I know so many people are interested in different things. So hopefully I can bring that value to you, the type of value that I always tell you that you have to bring to the companies that you are applying for, right? So it's just a circle of value. The circle, how about that? Circle of value. I like that. I like the circle of value. All right, so let's jump into our pre-recorded content. So we have Mondays, Candid Conversations. Those are just, I share my thoughts with you and different things that I'm seeing. A lot of it is focused in tech, but I use the tech focus to apply it to how it can be applied to life, right? And how you can be better, how you can have a more positive outlook, and how you can go out there and win. I believe it's hard to win with the negative mindset, and you do not have to take the negativity of the world on your shoulder. You just have to look at yourself and say, okay, what can I do for me? What can I do for my family? What can I do for the people who are close to me? And not worry about everything else. All right. So that is my strategy for success. All right. So Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concept and overviews. We have been going through the GRC framework. The first one we did was an introduction to GRC. Then we zoned in on the governance aspect of it. Then we dug deeper into the risk management, and then just yesterday we spoke about compliance. And then so this coming week we're probably going to be talking more about the actual framework before we move on to something else. So if you haven't seen any of those, I highly recommend that you tune into those, especially if you're into cybersecurity. But it goes way past cybersecurity, because just this past couple of weeks at work, I just wrapped up our security awareness training. So it's everywhere. So I would recommend that you have a good understanding of these models, even if you're not like specifically in GRC. All right. And lastly, we have on Fridays the Bug Bite, where we review different industry type bugs and different information. Like the Bug Bite seems to be related a lot to cybersecurity. What are we talking about tomorrow? We're talking about the United Health Group and their cyber attack and how that's going. So I should also review the Atlanta courts hack as well. So that might be coming up for next week. So that'll be a fun one. All right. So that is all the things that is going on. And then throughout the week, we have shorts that I drop, and then we also have clips from the Q&A show that come out like every day. So you definitely there's something to always tune into to get all types of information, whatever it is that I can do to help. And if there's something that you see that's missing, let me know, and then we can make adjustments and we can get that addressed for you. All right. So I am here to serve you. All right. So let's move on. I'm not gonna go too long into all these things. I just want to I want to go into the Agile Manifesto, but let me check the chat real quick, see if there's anything. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I got my co-host in the chat. Mitch says, get the likes up. What's going on, Mitch? And Mitch also says, exactly. Negativity definitely can hold you back. Nobody likes a negative Nancy. Nobody likes a Debbie Downer. All right. So, I don't have a boo for that, but nobody likes that. All right. So let's continue real quick. Let's get into our Agile Manifesto. We are on our 11th principle of the Agile Manifesto. So let's talk about that real quick, right? So let's jump over to the other screen. Why don't we? And the 11th principle behind the Agile Manifesto is the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams, right? So if you notice a trend in these principles is that it's very team-oriented. It's not like, oh, the process. Of course, we need structure in place. It can't be the wild, wild west. But at the same time, the team is in charge of its destiny, and the team constructs. It can be different members, but for the most part, it's a few engineers. It's a QA engineer, maybe two QA engineers. It's a scrum master. It's a product owner, and it might be a business analyst in there somewhere. But that's the core of the team, and they decide what they can do to accomplish the needs of the stakeholders and the organizations and everything like that of the organization. So we self-organize in order to bring the most value. And when you self-organize and when you plan out what you're doing, you have more care and more passion into the work that you're doing. So that's awesome. All right. So just wanted to share that. Oh, look who decided to show up today. Let's see here. This bot decided to show up. Let me go and turn off the other bot then, make sure it's still off. What is the name? Let's go back to full screen. And what is the site called? And we are all right. Let's get out of that because that one will be coming soon. All right. So Mitch says in the chat, this is right on time. I declined a solution designer role. When did you decline that? Because you just moved to another position, right? Was that look at Mitch getting these multiple offers out here because you just went to data, and now you're declining solution designer role. Look at Mitch is on fire. I would start singing, but you don't want that to happen. But that's awesome, Mitch. You know what? Mitch, this is for you. This was for a startup. You see, I love to see my people win.
All we do is win, man. You know that.
Yes. I am on the winning team. All right. Okay. So let's see what we have next up. We have. All right. So let's do this. Before we get into our coding, let's talk about mentorship and coaching real quick, right? First and foremost, if you are, you should always have a mentor, you should always have a coach, right? Regardless of the level that you're in, you should always have a mentor, you should always have a coach, someone who's able to give you insight. Someone who's willing to be honest with you, right? Because a lot of times we think that we know the direction that we're going in, and we think we have all the answers, but we're lacking. And you ever heard the saying, watch my six. And that is the what a mentor and what a coach, what a confidant can do for you. And to further that along, you should also use it to your greatest advantage, because if they can see that you are not serious, you're not focused, they're going to drop you and move on to the people who are. Because the higher you move up, right, in life, the more valuable that you become and your time becomes more meaningful. So if you are able to find a coach or a mentor or a confidant, and you start to not take it seriously and waste their time, they're going to drop you like a bad habit, and they're going to move on to someone who's going to find it valuable. So let's do this. And here's how I'm going to show this real quick. I would use the app if I could pull it up on the, if I could pull up the app on the actual screen, which I'm still working on that, right? But let's look at this. Let's make it a practical example. So you guys know my trusty time cost calculator. If someone is making 50 grand a year, right? An hour of their time, not how much they get paid per hour, like based on a 40-hour schedule or a work week, but an hour of their time. So that means the 24 hours in a day, you break that down, right? And shout out to Anton Daniels for sharing his formula. And I just turned it into a calculator. So it's all his formula, and I turned it into a calculator. So that means at 50, an hour of your time is worth $5.69. And if you are coaching someone who wants to get to where you are, so you don't want them to be wasting your time even at $5.69. But now let's say you double up, right? Let's say you double up. And now for them to waste your time, that's $11.38 that they're wasting. So let's say you double that up. If you double that up, then now they're wasting $22.77 of your time. The moral of the story is, if you have a coach or a mentor or a confidant or anything like that, make sure you're not wasting their time. Make sure that you are using their time to your maximum ability, that you're getting valuable insight, and that you are actually questioning them and helping yourself. Because if they even suspect that you're not taking it seriously, then they're going to go, and you're going to have to find somebody else. So you have to be working at 100%, no excuses, because at the end of the day, whatever your reasons are, whatever your excuses are, nobody cares. Nobody cares. When you see the world is vicious out there. When you see players who get cut, for example, Russell Wilson, he was with Seattle for how many years? Won 2 championships, I believe, for them. And then as soon as he started going down, you're out of here. Then he goes to Denver after a season or 2, gone. Now he's with Pittsburgh, and he's just going to become a floater. He's going to become a floater. So when you stop bringing value, when you start wasting people's time and effort and things like that, and their investment into you, then they're going to let you go. So keep that in mind. Use all your resources as best as possible, because one day those resources will not be there anymore. Okay? So just letting you know, one day those resources will not be there anymore. And maybe I'll do maybe I'll do that as a candid conversation as well. All right. But let's get started. Before we get started, let me check the chat first, and then we'll go. So Mitch, that was for a startup. My current company, Now Data, they had to create the position. You see, Mitch has people creating positions for him now. You know, there's like it didn't exist, so we have to create it. That's what I'm talking about. And this is what I call winning. This is what I call winning. And which is, I was also taught that whatever a job pays you, they are making at least 4 times what you make. Makes you sick if you think about it. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But here's the thing with that though. Think about it like this. Would you? So let's take easy numbers, right? So let's say you're making 50K, and that means they'll be making about 200K based off the work that you're doing. The question always is for me, because that stuff doesn't really, I don't really think about that, right? So the question for me would be, am I able to go and make the 200K on my own? If I can, then I don't have to work for them and I can just do whatever it is that I do. But so that's how I always see it, you know? And that's why it never really bothers me, because I'm like, well, I would have to, how much more work would I have to do to go make that like 200K off their 50, you know? So I don't know. And it says, I don't want him on the Steelers. It looks like they don't want him on any team. And they will tolerate you until they don't need you. Facts. And then, Mitch, they're gonna say, watch, just wait for it. You're gonna hear them say,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
They're in a bind, Nate. I don't even know who Nate is, but Nate, if you're out there, they're in a bind. And we got my guy in the chat. Me, myself, says, what's going on, Tech? I am doing absolutely amazing. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. Hope all is well with you as well. My guy out there in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. What's going on? All right. And Mitch says, most can, most can't. But why not stay with the W-2 if you can and do something on the... I agree. Some can. I was like, yeah, if most can do it, that's awesome. But I mean, I agree. Like, and here's the thing with the W-2, right? With the W-2, you get your benefits, you get your equity, you get all these, you get your PTO and stuff like that. And you're only working 40 to 50 hours a week. I mean, when you look at what I do, I just leverage. It's a cycle. What I learn on the job, I share with you. What I learn with you, I apply it on the job and share it on the job. So it's just a cycle, It's just a cycle. So I totally agree with you. I mean, and when you look at like with Joseph and Trey, they're sharing about tech sales and that industry because that's what they know, that's what they're in. So you leverage what you learn from your day-to-day, your education, and you share with others, and then others are going to find it valuable because you're helping them. And it's just a circle of information. I don't know, whatever. All right. Let's get to it. But before we get to it, do me a huge favor. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that Tech Coach Ralph, goes live and drops new content. All right. So let me get our timer up. We're not going to go forever tonight. We are going to go back to the free mind recovery now that things are working on my end and it's not going to drive me crazy. I tell you, like I blame the safe test because it had me upgrading things and doing all types of stuff, and then nothing worked after that, right? So now I'm in a good spot. Even my other project for the Tech Barbarians, I had to like do some crazy stuff to get that to work, but we are in a good spot now. I am happy. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. Let me go ahead and crack this monster open because Today was a crazy day. I was working on some crazy stuff and close to finishing, but it was, oof. Okay, there we go. All right. So we are going to throw up our first 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to do.
And like I always like to do, this is the Free Mind Recovery site. You know, I always like to read it. It says, free yourself from any anxiety disorder. Free Mind Recovery is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing anxiety disorder recovery services to individuals across the globe. With us, experience the path to tranquility, confidence, and true liberation from anxiety at no cost. Free Mind is 100% free and committed to supporting you in discovering a life filled with calm and freedom. All right. And yeah, so we're gonna get to the coding. And Mitch says that that's not good for you, bro. None of those. I trust me. I know. And I only have one left. So, well, I have like two in the fridge and one that's not refrigerated yet. But once that's done, right? There was a special reason that I needed them for the past couple of weeks. But once that's done, you know, after next week, I should be good. I promise. All right. So I will be weaning off of those, but I still have to have at least my coffee. Is coffee okay, Mitch? I mean, it technically is an energy drink, right? But we shall see. All right, cool. So let's get to our work. And we are going to swoop over to the other screen. Actually, forgot. I got a new mouse. See? Look at that. It's a trackball mouse, and it has a little tilt thingy. I want to use that tonight. So let me connect that real quick. Oh, it has a little lighty. Look at that. Night light. And let me see if I can connect it to the Bluetooth. Having the right tools to work with is so important. So important. Because if you're not comfortable working, it's gonna be very annoying, very hard. Let me see. Where is this Bluetooth device? Let me see. Could probably just read the instructions, but you know how we do. We don't read instructions. We just figure it out. Well, there's gotta be something. Let me see. Whenever I'm trying to figure out some Bluetooth stuff, I just start pressing buttons all over the place until I start seeing something flashing. Not seeing the flashing though. That's, let me see. There's got to be something to press on. Let me see if I press this one maybe. Press the bottom maybe. Let's see. I don't know. There's gotta be something. So I have to figure that out later. But anyways, let's get back to it. Okay. So oh my goodness. Hey, whenever whenever you want to link up, me and myself, you know where to find me. We can definitely show you how I get my setup done. What's going on, Pluto? Shout out to Pluto, Mr. Cybersecurity. And Mitch says never saw the trackball mice. Like you don't even have to like they just sit stationary. Like so, let's say it's on the desk, right? Let me move this out the way. Say it's sitting on the desk like this, and you just like you're using your thumb to control it. Like I like them a lot because it makes me it gives me a little bit more precision. And you don't have to like slide all over the place. And so yeah, right. That yeah, I got you. Like I said, I got you. Me myself. Just hit me up on Discord, and I got you. And we say, oh, and we have Mahesh. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. Am I saying your name right? Let me know. I hope I'm saying it right. He says, hello from Wellington. We are going, Mitch. We're going international. International. How are you doing? Happy to have you here. What time is it in New Zealand right now? Let me know. Let me know what time it is. All right. Mr. Cybersecurity, I will take it. Hey, I got you. All right. Enough fun and games. We're going to have some more fun during the break, and we're going to have some fun. All right. So let me go back to I wanted to get the mouse working, but hey, when you don't read the instructions, it's like when you don't read the requirements and you try to test something, that's what we're going through. All right. So here we are. So let me just do this because it was so annoying the other day, right? Trying to run this test and getting these errors about this file types, right? So we're gonna go to what I had to do was I had to add, it's so dumb to me, right? But like I said, I am not a JavaScript expert, and I am not I'm not a TypeScript expert whatsoever, right? But what I had to do, and this was just from the Selenium test, I had to put loader, and I had to install TS node, and I had to put this thing in here, and then put the path to the file. So watch, all of a sudden it's not gonna work, right? But let's run it. And it should open up the browser. And it's gonna go to the register page, but we commented out all of the register, so we don't like create a bunch of fake accounts on Free Mind Recovery. And I think Jared added like some email validation thing to it. So we're going to update our test, and we're going to continue to do the refactoring and stuff like that. So is it done? Yeah, it's done. All right. So what we're gonna do, let's start off with that. And we don't really need all of this in here because we're not doing it. But what we can do, so we can see something working, right? Let's do, I don't remember the login that I created, but here's what we can do. So let's go to have this function to log into the site. It's been a few weeks since we worked on this, so I'm trying to catch up to where we're at. All right. So we have login selectors. Let's go to sign in. Verify that. All right. So what we're going to do, we're just going to create another. We're going to create another test, right? We're going to leave the registration test as it is because it is a registration test. And let's say we had to run it in the future. Let's say some changes were made. We would just uncomment this stuff, right? And we can even uncomment it. We're just not going to run it. So that's what we'll do. We're going to, because we can still optimize it, but we'll do that afterwards. So for the time being, we will just use, we're going to create another test so we can use the login, and then we'll go off that one, and we'll just leave this as is. And I can push this code up as well to I can push this code up to GitHub so you can get a copy of it and you can read through it, ask me any questions. What is this? Okay, so all right, so let's leave that. And then I'm gonna close. What is the error that we're having here? All right, so this is commented out. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let's close out this test and let's go to our, what we can do is we can go straight into doing it in page object model. And then we will also like let's do the login and then we'll do it in Playwright and do it in Cypress as well. So let's go to create a new file, a new TypeScript file. We're gonna call this login dash test dot spec dot ts, right? And let's close it. Too many files open. All right, so we can close that. We can close that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open the register. We're gonna just steal some stuff from the register test because it's gonna have a lot of the stuff that we need. All right, so we are going to say, let's copy this stuff. We don't. Oh, let's copy this right here because we need. So these we definitely need these, right? This is the importing the Selenium WebDriver stuff, assertions. We kind of need this one. And this one right here, like we're not using this, but it was really cool how we're able to generate unique test data. So let me take a quick look at it. Let me show it real quick, right? So in here, this is what I did. For those who are new, shout out to you, TW. I'll take a look at your comment in a second, but shout out. Thank you so much for being here. And so what I did was here was I said, all right, because whenever you're testing something that you need to generate new test data, especially because you're gonna be working in your local environment, working in a dev environment, and you need to make sure like, okay, I can create a new user. So I always give it the format of to make it unique. I don't do like a random number or something like that. I give it the pattern of the year, month, date, underscore, hour, minute, seconds. So that way, however fast the tests are running, it's always going to be creating a unique username or email address, right? And that's what I am doing here. So I say, all right, create this username. Oh my God. Hold on one second. All right, I am back. That was crazy. So here's the thing: never leave a garage opener by your with your kid, right? Because they're apparently going to use it, and that was scary. That was scary. Anyways, I am back. All right, let me get back into it. So, where are we? You know, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen on these streams? I need this light to turn off up here. Okay. Whew. Let me get the AC. AC. All right, so let's get back to it. Let's get back from the craziness, from the madness. Hey, who knows? We never know what to expect on these shows, right? So let's go. I was like, what's going on? Oh my god, I appreciate you, bitch. I appreciate you. All right, let's finish up what we're working on, and then we'll get to break and we'll have some more fun. All right. So what I was saying. So this is how this works, right? So it creates this. This unique username, unique email address, and then it returns you that username and email address, and then we can use it inside of. I used it inside of here, right? So we're calling it into here, right? So unique info, generate the username, and then setting the username, the email address, and then we're passing it along in here. So, and this is the type of stuff that I think of, and I try to help you with, like, you know, especially if we're coaching and stuff like that. So just different things, right? But that's not where I just wanted to share that real quick. So here we are, and let's look at the registration test. And we are gonna go to we're gonna need we don't need the registration navigation link. We are gonna need the login. We are going to take navigation. And we are. And we're going to take the driver. And why is the weight not working? Why does it work here, not there? Ah, okay, I see why. So let's do a sync function log in to site. All right. And let's see. Okay. All right, so we have that, and now we can take. So, and I'll push this code up to GitHub for those of you who are new and want to see this. You can, like, you know, look through the code and get a better understanding of what I'm doing. But I want to take these two right here, and I'll explain it as we go along, right? But I'm gonna take this, and I'm just gonna drop it right here. All right, so I don't need these anymore. Okay, so this one right here is going to start up the new browser, and then this one right here is going to go to the website, and we can actually just run this so you can see it work. And because I know the timer is about to go off, so let's run this real quick, and then you can have you can see what we're like. We actually coded something already. So we're gonna do, instead of register, we're gonna do login, and that should open up the Free Mind Recovery site. And that's all it's going to do right now.
Lunch break.
All right. So that's all this is doing right now is it's going to what we automated to do was open the browser. So before we go to break, what I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna write out what we're gonna do. We're gonna say click on the account, or what is that? What it says? It says account link in navigation, and then we're gonna say click on login sub menu, and then we are going to say enter the user name or email address. Enter the password. Log in to site, right? So that's what we're going to do. And then we are going to replicate that in Playwright and in Cypress. And the good thing is we already have all these selectors. So it's not like we have to find all this stuff over again. I think we just might have to find the login link, but that's about it. So it's going to be super easy, super quick, knock on wood, and we'll go from there. All right. So let's go to break. All right. So let's put our 5 minutes on the clock. And what I was going to do on our first break was go review WGU, because I was looking at it today. Someone was asking about boot camps today, right? And Mitch knows how much I absolutely love boot camps. But I was like, I don't know about boot camps. They're like, but it looks like I'm looking into what WGU is, and I know somebody who went there. My guy, Mr. Cybersecurity, Pluto in the chat, and they like, the model is pretty cool, So I was like, so I was gonna look at that. I said I'm still researching it, but I was gonna look at that in our first break. But after all the craziness that just happened, right? So this is what happens. My mother is watching my son right now, and they're up front, and he had this little, he found this, right? I don't know how he found it, because it was in a drawer, and he just started pressing buttons, because kids, babies, they just press buttons. And like, as I'm talking to you guys, like, the thing just opens, and there's stuff that's by it. So I'm like, is the garage door going to like destroy stuff? So that's what I was worried about. I was like, is this stuff going to destroy things? Like, and I'm trying to like make sure nothing important falls and breaks, and it was a mess. So, and then as I'm like closing stuff over here, he just like, the door is opening and closing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy. So, and like, I was startled, like, because you're so like, because this door never opens, right? And if you're just, because like we converted the garage, like half of it into was like left as the laundry room, and the other half I turned into an office, and like that way I can focus and work and stuff like that. And it it was crazy. Oh my goodness. So like, especially like when the door never opens and you're focused, and all of a sudden it just like, what in the world? You thought it was like an earthquake or something, So that was crazy, but it was fun. All right, let me get to the chat real quick. All right, so we have, okay, so I got it right, Mahesh, and he says it is 1:11 now, 1:29 out there on Friday. So our friend Mahesh is writing to us from the future. Love it. I love it. And it's Friday over there. And Mahesh hit me up on one of these videos, right? So about Playwright and stuff like that. So happy to have you here. I really, really appreciate you. And TW says, definitely stay with that W2. Like, I would love, like, I like all the stuff that I do and everything like that, but I also love my W2, just focused work, and and then using all the benefits so that I can fuel all the other stuff. Because guess what? Almost like a huge majority of the things that I've learned was from my W2 jobs. And now that information that I've leveraged I can continue, like I was saying earlier, like the circle, So being able to share that and being able to monetize that in other ways. A lot of times people, they just, and this is the thing, right? A lot of people, they get their, they either only W-2 or only hustle, 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 right? And I'm like, why not do both? There's 24 hours in a day, right? And if we do a little bit of calculation, where's my calculator, my trusty calculator? If we work, so let's say, I don't need a calculator for this, right? But if you work for 8 to 9 hours a day, right? There's 24 hours in a day. So if you take out 8, that'd be 16, maybe 15 hours that you have left. Okay. So you gotta sleep, of course, you gotta sleep, but how much sleep do you really, really need? You ever thought about that? See, I like to calculate my sleep to be the just right amount for me to be productive, right? Enough to be productive. Not too much, because then I'm starting to lose money. Not too little, because then I'm still going to be losing money because I won't be as effective as I could be, right? So, I even give a cost to my sleep, because let's pull up the calculator again, right? If you make, let's say you make $200,000 a year, right? And you sleep for, so let's say activity, let's say you sleep 10 hours a day, right? At 200K, sleeping for 10 hours.
Gonna move on. Back to work. Chop, chop.
You
Let's
see,
go.
you guys don't want to hear
Come
that
on,
part,
get a
right?
move on.
I got you.
Back
You
to
don't want to hear
Back
that
to
part.
work. Back to work.
But sleeping for 10 hours, that costs you $227. $227 to sleep 10 hours. So I would rather, would I be effective and efficient with 6 hours? See, now that costs me 136, which I could do that to be effective, because now that extra 4 hours, I can go and do something else with it, make more money, right? So that's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So Mahesh writes, how are you finding Playwright? So I like Playwright. I've been using Selenium for the past 10-ish years, and I am that's my first love, right? Selenium is always my first love, but I also like to explore new tools. So when I was exploring Playwright, it's really cool. I like the way that it has its little dashboard, and I would say I like it better than Cypress, because with Playwright they've created it to work in different environments. So you can use it in Python, you can use it in Java, you can use it in JavaScript / TypeScript. So I like the flexibility of it. I like that it's not like closed off. It is open source. And and when I pull it up here, you're gonna see, and you can give me some insight. But I'll like, how do you like it as well? I would love to know how you like it as well. Pluto asks, how did you learn to code? That is an awesome question. So I started off with websites, right? And I'm gonna tell you the story. One of my friends, when I was growing up, they were a barber, and they said, "Hey, can you do a website for my barbershop?" And I said, "Sure, I can do a website for your barbershop." Had I ever made a website before? Absolutely not. I didn't. But I did have, I'm about to age myself, Microsoft Front Page. Let's see what Microsoft Front Page is real quick, right? We'll go to full screen. So if you guys are not aware of Microsoft Front Page, get some. So on Google, Microsoft Front Page was back in 2003. Did they have a 2007 version? I don't know, right? But let's take some images of Microsoft Front Page. It looked like, that's a small picture. See if I can get a bigger one. It looked like this. It was bad. It was bad, right? See Microsoft Front Page 97, right? And I did the barbershop website and that. And I was like, I was feeling myself. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. And then, I showed it to people. Oh yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. Showed it to my dad. He was like, this is ugly. I was like, what? And I was like, okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. And and then I had and then so I progressively over time made it better. I was learning Scrum before I even knew it. Right? You make crap, and then you find a way to make the crap a little bit better until it's no longer crap. But then I started working in technical support, and working in there, I got a lot of experience in how web hosting works, how DNS works, email configurations, and then one of the directors, they were moving the web design team to in-house locally to South Florida, and he asked me to pilot it. So that's how I learned a lot about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, things like that. And then from getting laid off in 2008, at the end of 2008, it got laid off, and then I went into QA, and from QA, I was I was I was like doing regular QA, and then they needed automated automation testing. So they asked me if I wanted to do that. I was like, all right, sure. So I learned how to do automation testing through a software called Unified Functional Testing, UFT. It was formerly QTP, Quick Test Professional. And then we had a need to do mobile testing, testing mobile websites. So I ended up learning Selenium and moved the whole company from a very expensive licensed software to an open source software where we can test a bunch of different things, a bunch of different websites simultaneously. So things like that. So that was the story of how I got into coding. Started off with like a very crappy website, and then learned more about website development, and then going into automation, and then I ended up eventually learning more about Java, learning Python, using a lot of Udemy courses to get better. But I would like Udemy is a great place to learn coding, and I would say like with the way that with the amount of time you said the other day on the other stream, Pluto, that you spent to study for WGU, I think you'd be great at like being able to master those self-study Udemy courses and stuff like that, especially like you're connected with with the bag chasers, with the Grammar Hub Discord, or with me, and we can run it up, all right? So awesome question. I really appreciate that. So let's go back to full screen before we get back to work. Let's see what else we got. Mitch says, I actually will say CC might not be that bad. Not be bad. The one our friends took. Course careers. All right, cool, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about I don't really know much about boot camps. I just look at the stuff that they have on their sites. But I'll tell you this: I looked at their website, and they're not charging you $1 million. So that's good, because a lot of boot camps, they charge you an egregious amount of money. So yeah, Pluto says garage door controllers. I was gonna send over Ocho Cinco. Shout out to Ocho Cinco out of the U. And Pluto says having kids having a good time. I'm telling you, he just be pressing buttons all over the place. But yeah, I thought so too. I was about, can't even say. Rainbow Six C drives. And Pluto says, I always tell my friends, why you want to quit the 9 to 5? Yup, same question. Just do your hustle and do the 9 to 5. Realistically, we only max out 4 hours of W2 potential per day, at least for me. For the most part, yeah. I mean, and some days, some weeks are a lot busier than others, but you're never like a full on 8 hours like a day, because the thing is, even that companies, they don't want you to get burned out, because they'll make space for you and stuff like that to be able to do other stuff, and Mitch says, I'm not gonna say it, but one particular group promotes either or, but the ones that are promoting it, they got a W2 job that nobody knows about. They undercover W2 people. Oh my goodness. And you got, what you looking at? What you looking at, good guy? What you looking at, good guy? We have
good guy
in the chat. And good guy says 1995. I wasn't born yet. Yeah. It is old software. And Dad was a GUI tester. And 1995, one time for the shout out to the 90s. And Pluto says, Yeah, WGU alumni come with business Udemy. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. I will be grinding it out. I plan to do business this year, and building my own websites will be a good double dip. Hit me up, Pluto, because I got stuff, right? I got stuff. And let's see, undercover W2 ops is wild. And I started learning code from a guy in AOL chat room that suggested W3 schools in early 2000s. How crazy these were. That that is AOL chat room back in the days. Oh my god, I remember the AOL chat rooms, the Yahoo chat rooms. Oh, back in the days. All right, let's get back to work, right? Because I can be reading these. I can read the chat all night long, right? So let's get to it. Let me throw up another 20 minutes on the clock.
Let's go! Let's go!
You know, Mitch, every time I take a sip, I slowly feel my life fading away. But, you know, at least it will. Lastly, speaking about dial-up, like I was so mad because everyone could get DSL except for my neighborhood, right? So I spent forever not having high speed. I was so mad. But when we had a major hurricane, no one had internet except for me on dial-up because I'll tell you on the next break what I did to have. I'll tell you on my next break what I did to have power when we were like for 2 without power. But I'll tell you after. All right, so let's get to work. All right, I'm having too much fun tonight. All right, so let's do this real quick, and we shall see. And kids today, they will never know what that dial-up ringtone was, or what a fax, like when you call a fax number, what that was, you know. Anyways, and sometimes I remember, right, that like my dad would be expecting a fax and the phone would ring, and I'd pick up the phone line, and he was like, "Oh my god, I was expecting a fax. They have to start all over again." I'm like, "Sorry, sorry." Okay, let's get to work. I'm having too much fun. Okay, so we are gonna do navigation selectors, navigation. Okay, so let's look at navigation objects. We want to click the account navigation link, and then click register. Now, so we don't want the register. All right, so let's see. What did I do? So we have some functions here. We have, all right, click the account navigation link, click the register navigation link, and submenu. So we need one of these for, let's see if we have a login in here. We don't have login yet, so let's add login real quick. And if anyone in the chat is a JavaScript, TypeScript expert, please forgive me because my TypeScript and my JavaScript is very, very poor. So, you know, just putting out that disclaimer out there, right? Login, navigation, link. And we're gonna say, all right, let's go over to FreeMind Recovery to get the link for the navigation. And as, oh, I'm signed in right now. I don't even know what my password is. Huh. I guess I can change it. But let's go to sign in. And like I said, I spoke to Calculus Coder about it, about, hey, let's make this a little bit more testable, right? So, and for all of those out there who are interested in QA and doing automation, you have the right. I give you the right as a 15-year QA veteran and expert to tell your developers that they need to make the code testable by adding some either IDs or test data IDs so you can easily identify the selectors. Because with this, the only way I can identify this selector in a clean way is by using this. And this is very, very bad practice, right? So I have to go to, this is what I have to do, right? This is a terrible selector, but until calculus coder can update that, that's what we're gonna have to use. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna bring it over to here, and we have that in here, and we're gonna export the login navigation link. All right, so we got that, and we're gonna go to import login navigation link. And I might not actually need it in here, but okay, so we need it in here though. So we're gonna say login navigation link. And we already have this one. We're just gonna copy this one real quick, or I can type it out, no biggie. Async, click the login navigation link in sub menu. So, and why do I name it so long, right? Why is my function name so long? Because I want it to be easily understandable. Navigation. I want it to be easily understandable, so like anyone who's reading it, they know exactly what it's doing. I don't want to call it like login, like something that's obscure, right? I want it to be super clear so that anyone who comes behind me, anyone who goes to the GitHub repo, they say, okay, this is exactly what this function is doing. Okay, so await this dot click navigation link driver, and then we're gonna say login navigation link, and then set. So I just copy this part real quick. And eventually we're going to optimize this as well to use the weights, but just so we can see something working right now. It was a little weird when working through it. So everything that you see here, there's nothing that's set in stone. It will be optimized. We're going to be using the WebDriver weights for stuff to be loaded and stuff like that, right? So do not worry, do not fear, do not fret, okay? So then go to registration page. So we're gonna have one that says, async, go to login page, driver, web driver, and we're gonna say await this dot click the account navigation link, driver, pass the driver in, await this, click the login navigation and submenu, driver. All right, so we have our go to login page, right? So now we go to our login, and we're gonna say navigation dot go to login page, and we're gonna pass in the driver. Oh wait. All right, so now so now this little code right here should take us to the login page, right? So let's give it a try, and then and this will take care of that too. So we don't have to have that in here. Go like that. And I don't even, it's not even necessary. And if your method and function names are clear enough, you don't even need these comments because it should be easily understandable, right? But let's go ahead and run it real quick and see if that works. There you go. So we just automated going from the first page to the second page in a nice, clean way, right? And it should be timing out soon. But waiting to see register button. So there's something we gotta fix in here, I suppose. Why is it waiting to see register button? Oh, okay, because we waiting to see. Let's say waiting to see login button. Okay, there we go. I really don't think we need this, but whatever. We'll take care of that later. All right, so let's see. So we're able to get to our login page. Let's see. We're good. All right, so let's close this out. Start closing out some browsers. All right, so we have gotten to here, and let's see. Now to on our login page. So we already have this part, right? So if we go to our pages, login. Did we do? I don't think we did the login. I don't think we did the login stuff yet for this, like in the functions for the login. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. We're gonna say TypeScript. We're gonna say login objects.ts. All right, and we can just copy from here. Copy that. And login selectors. We can copy all of these. Import from, and that would be login selectors. There we go. There we go. So now we would say I always forget the syntax. How do we do it in this one? Class login. It's just the side over here. Close this down. All right, so we have class login, and then we're gonna say async. Enter the email address, web driver, and we're gonna say we are going to say await this navigation link. So we're gonna say await I'm gonna make a small adjustment. So I'm gonna go, let's call this input form. Not doing too much right now. Let's just do this, all right? So await driver dot find element. We can always refactor later. And then we're gonna say by CSS And we're gonna call this email login input field dot send keys, and we'll add a thingy here to say a string maybe. How do I do that in the other one? Let me see. Parameter. Let me see. Let's do a quick Google real quick. Oh, okay. It's the other way. So in Java, it's like the type first, but here it's going to be email address colon string. So here we put email address. And then here we're gonna say that should be it. All right. And we're gonna say, let's move this over a bit. Enter the password, driver, web driver, password, string, and await driver dot find element by dot css password login input field dot send keys, and that's gonna be password. Simple, right? Very simple. So we got that, and let's close that out. And then we're gonna say another one. See, and as you get started, it starts to go faster. It definitely starts to go faster as you get started. So this is gonna be a sync. Click the login button, driver.webDriver, and we're gonna say here, await driver.find element by CSS, and that's going to be the submit login button dot click. All right, and then we're just gonna do something very, very cool here, right? We're gonna say async log into, spell async wrong. Log into web site. And we're going to say string email address, or got it backwards. Email address. I don't know why they would do that. Everything else has it the other way around. And now inside of here, we're just gonna call those functions, right? We're gonna say enter the email address and pass in the email address. Or gotta start it with await. And then oh, okay. Web driver, and this is gonna be driver, And then over here, we're going to say await this dot. Enter the password. Say driver password. And then lastly, await this dot click login button. And we're going to say that's going to be driver. Right? So now that we have this done, we got to do a at the very bottom, we're going to say export constant login equals new login. We have over here. Yep. And we are done with that. So now when we go back into here, which I don't think we even need this over here, we're going to say
Lunch break. Lunch break.
all right, let's finish this off because I know I was blabbering earlier. So we're going to say login from pages / login / login objects dot, I don't know what. And we're going to go over here. Why is it .js? Shouldn't it be TS? See what TS, what happens? Or not. Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. We'll put JS. And we're gonna go here and we're gonna say login dot login to website, and this is gonna be driver, and then email address and password. It's gotta remember what it is. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. If I can go to my email and find it. Actually, I can try to. And when I check my email, I see good news. Shout out to you, TW. So happy to have you on board. We are going to get to work. We're going to kill it. We are going to kill it. All right. So let me see if I can find this real quick. And let's see, Gmail or not Gmail, free mind. That's on the other side. All right, the other email. Let me get it there. And I don't know where that email. Let me see. I don't know what happened to that verification. I don't know. You can always create a new email address, but let's go with. Let's try. Let's give it a guess. It's supposed to be not the email. Let me see. Nope. But if I go try this. Ha. Okay, so I just have the password saved. So let's do this, and let's say this is tech coach. And let me see what the password is. Ah, right. Oh, it's capital T. So, um, thank you. I could put the password as part of some other file. And so we'll do this, right? We'll go like this, right? Just so you can see it, just so you can see it work. But what I'll end up doing is putting the password in like some type of config file or maybe an environment variable so that it doesn't have to show up here. But at least you'll be able to see it working. All right. So this needs an await. Let's run it real quick and then we're going to go to break. All right. Oh, what did I do wrong? Imported from not find module. Not find module login objects. Let me see. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Login test. We have navigation. We have this. Cannot find module. Login selectors inside of login object. Okay. Cannot find module. Okay. So this one, I'm just gotta throw a JS on the end of it, and we should run that, and that should work. So we should be able to see the username entered and a password entered, and then we'll go to break. All right. So let's see what happens. Why did it go to the contact page? See, and this is why you need very specific selectors because it wasn't supposed to go to that page. So we're gonna have to revamp that. But it is what it is, right? Let's go to break. All right, let's get started. Let me move this around. Let's see here. And let's take a look at on our break. All right, we're gonna look at this. But let's check the chat real quick. And if you are new here and you haven't done so yet, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live, as well as if you need one-on-one coaching, if you need to try to build some experience in QA or in software engineering, whatever it is, go check out www.techcoachralph.dev so that you can sign up for one-on-one coaching and you can join my ecosystem so that I can help you build practical experience in the IT industry. All right. So let me see the chat. Let's put up 5 minutes on the clock. And Pluto says, what you know about MSN chat? What you know about MSN chat? And TW is like, dial up. Yes. Those were the days. And, I have a story to tell you too. All right. So I'll tell you that story in a bit. And That was, internet was my that was my childhood. It was annoying. Like everyone can get DSL, and it's kind of like how I feel right now, right? Because everyone can get fiber except for this neighborhood. Annoying. Um, Mitch says the rotary phone. My grandma had a rotary phone in Haiti, and Pluto says anyone thoughts on Devon AI, the world's first software engineering AI? Um, I saw it mentioned on Reddit and stuff like that, but I haven't tried it out yet. But I will put that on the list of things to try out. Maybe I can pivot from Terraform on a Sunday to explore that a little bit. Let me look into it a little bit, and then we will definitely like you know me. I am willing to try anything, anytime. So I will quickly spin up a stream and say, okay, let's try out Devon AI. And by the way, I have good news. I have good news. After waiting a month to hear back from Amazon, they are going to credit me from the Amazon Q chatbot for business thing that for some reason it was charging me, although I wasn't using it. So and I don't know. It was weird how the charges came. So they are going to credit me. So I just have to send them some information. But yeah, I will quickly. We can definitely do that maybe on Sunday, possibly. Because normally Sundays for Terraform, but I don't mind pivoting a little bit to see what Devon AI is working with. So yeah, yeah, let me look into it, and we can definitely do that. So the story, right? What's the story going to be about? Let me see. Okay. So we had a huge hurricane down here. I mean, it wasn't that huge, but like my neighborhood didn't have power for like 2 weeks, right? And I was working about 25 miles away, and working 25 miles away. So I would like, because there was like no power in certain spots. And so me and a friend of mine who we worked together would carpool, and the company that we were working for, that's when we were doing tech support. It was on limited service and stuff like that. But because they were a global company, they had to keep their services up. So we would drive up there, and I believe he had gas in his jet ski, and that's how he would be able to put gas. I don't know. It was crazy. But what I did, because I had a bunch of cars when I was younger, and what I did was I took one of those cars, and I had one of those inverters where you'd plug into the lighter thing, the lighter charger thing, and I would plug that into it, and then I would run the wire from the computer inside the house to it. And because we had dial up and the phone lines still worked, I was able to use internet, even though the rest of the house had no power, right? But I was still able to use internet and get online and see what was going on and stuff like that, because I used one of my cars to give the computer power, and I was able to get online that way. So that's what I did. So and that had to be like in 06, 07, around. Was it Hurricane Wilma? It was either Hurricane Wilma or Rita or something like that. But yeah, that's what I did. I've always been very innovative. So I used the car to give me internet. So, had to get online. And Pluto said, "Oh, you're Haitian? Nice. Shout out to the Dominicans out there. The original one that speaks French." That's awesome. You're very original. Okay. Going way back. All right. So let's do this real quick, right? I wanted to, I was looking at this earlier today. That's like I was saying, somebody was asking me about a boot camp for QA. And this is what my thought. I'll share with you my thought, but I haven't settled on anything. I just a thought that I was thinking, right? So, like Pluto says, he's an alumni of WGU, and I've seen commercials for it online, but I never really look up this stuff. But
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
after I'm done with this, okay? All right. So what I was looking at, I went straight to, oops. So I was on this page, right? And I was looking at what programs they had at WGU. And I see, okay, computer science, cybersecurity, data analytics, network engineering, IT, software engineering. Pretty cool. Cloud computing, information technology, health and nursing, right? So I clicked on computer science, but software engineering could be just as good. And cybersecurity, all this stuff looks good. And being that it would be a bachelor's, I don't know like what type of accreditation that they have and stuff like that. But I don't know if it really matters that much, right? But what Pluto is telling us on our last stream on Tuesday is that as you take the courses, you also get your certifications in the process, and that's what I was pretty much just sharing the information that Pluto shared with me to the person who was asking the question. And let's go to I clicked on this one. So online computer science degree, and I was just scrolling. So in a BET accredited online computer science degree that prepares you for a dynamic career, and I was looking at this, right? Tuition per 6-month term is four grand, right? And so that made me think, and that's what Pluto was just, sharing with us the other day. Says tuition charge per term rather than per credit helps students control the ultimate cost of their degree, finish faster, pay less. And I'm like, well, if you're focused, right? And like going back to what I was saying earlier about, coaching and mentorship and stuff like that, using those resources, like you can really, let's say you did some community college or some other college, and let's say you got one of those useless degrees, right? But you still have at least half of it isn't useless because you have those general electives. And if you're able to transfer, which Pluto, you can probably help us out with this, but if you're able to transfer those core objectives, those core classes, those whatever undergrad that they call them, to like what you normally do in the first 2 years to here, right? So then you don't have that many credits left to go. And you could probably do it for cheap, where you can get a computer science degree or a software engineering bachelor's degree. Because when we like every time we look at these jobs, they're talking about bachelor's degree, right? And what do we try to give them? We try to give them boot camp degree. I'm like, but they're not asking for boot camp degrees. They say computer science or equivalent experience. You say, but I have a boot camp degree and a 2-week internship. You know how I feel. The degrees, they don't, like, you can have a degree and not know anything. You can know everything and not have a degree, right? But that's what they're asking for. So if you can get a degree for the same price as a boot camp where you get all your certifications, and it's really up to you how fast you finish, right? So 71% of the graduates finish within 30 months. So 30 months divided by 6 would be 5. So 5 times 4. So it'd be like, so if you were to go with the 30 months, right, that would cost you about 20 grand. If you were to get it done in 15 months, that would cost you, let me do math, about 12-ish grand, something like that. So it just depends. This puts the onus on you. You can get your degree for very cheap and very fast if you put in the effort, So it's just an interesting concept. I'm still looking into it to get some more information and stuff like that. But looking at this, logic, architecture and systems, data structures, AI, computer theory, version control, Linux. And this is the stuff that we use on a daily basis. If we go back to here because I want to see the software engineering one. This one says learn Java or C# with an online software engineering degree, scripting and programming, web development, mobile application development, user experience design, software quality assurance. This is another good option like I said, this is my preliminary looking into this, but if you do this in 2 years, it'll cost you about 17 grand. I've seen boot camps for 12 grand just to learn manual testing and automation. So, and this doesn't have to take you 2 years. So if it takes you 1 year, you have a bachelor's for a little over 8 grand. Sounds interesting. This is like, not saying you should do it or not do it. I'm just saying this is another option where you end up with a bachelor's degree. So we'll see. And then tap in with I don't know. I have to look into it some more. Like I don't know if you can get this done in 6 months, but it's very interesting. All right, let's see. Let's check the chat and then we'll go back to work. One more segment of work. Maybe I'll just jump into Python to Playwright. So let's go back to full screen. So Mitch says data is gonna be big. Well, data is huge. Like, Mitch, do you see how sports, they went from the eye test to everything is data now? Back in the days, if someone was they had a fast break layup, and they would stop and take a three, the coach would be like would bench them, right? But now, if you go for the layup and you're a high percentage 3-point shooter, they might bench you. You know what I mean? So the data is crazy nowadays. Phil says, I wish they offered data science degree. Yeah, data science is a really, really good one. And basically you can basically see, you can transfer. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, which you would, if it's just the those core classes that you need, that's going to be pretty interesting. So say computer science, you can transfer 75% and do 15 classes left for a WGU degree. And you can do 15 classes in like 6 months. You can. So I don't know. That's interesting. Boot camp degree. You got to love those boot camp degrees. It says a credit degree over boot camp. I agree. I mean, companies are asking for degrees. Go get a degree. The reason it's cheap is because it's a non-profit private school. Interesting. And it says, and they cut the BS degree, only one office/building, so it saves costs. And I don't want to talk about. You know why college is so expensive? It's because the government's involved. At the end of the day, the government's involved. And AI blood is data. So data engineers are the surgeons, basically. Very, very good example. Only thing I don't like is they think analytics is the end all be all. Oh, the data says this. Data is up to interpretation, right? Data is up to interpretation because whoever has the data in their hand, they can say, okay, this is what the data says in this way, but this is what the data says in that way. So you're 100% right. Data is just information, and that's the thing, right? With the time cost calculator, I say it's just data. It's just letting you know this is what your time is worth and things like that. People get upset about it because you can't put a monetary cost on this. I'm like, of course I can. It costs me this amount of dollars to do this, but now you have to see, is it worth it or not? Like, that's up to you to decide if it's worth it or not. And I can decide if something is worth it for me or not. Maybe I can postpone it, something like that. But it's all up to you at that point, So let's just jump to one more segment. Yes, college is a business, and data says you're wrong and I'm right. Yes, I'm always right, and you, unless you agree with me, then you're always wrong. So let's jump into one last segment before we wrap it up for tonight. But this this WGU is pretty interesting. I must say it is pretty interesting. All right, last.
It's time to do.
So something with this caused it to I don't know. Wait a second. What? How did it do that? That is so weird. Let's run it one more time. I'm just curious why it didn't click on the sign in link. So this test is, how would the email? Oh, that's weird. So let's close these out. Let's close these out. So this is saying, so we want to say, go to login page. So we go here and this is going to say, click on the account navigation and then click on the login, navigation, and submenu. And that is, make sure this works. I'm just over here looking at this. Found it earlier. Yeah, absolute. I should have it. So it's there. That's right. All right, let's run it one more time. Whatever. Whether it passes or not, we'll jump into Playwright afterwards. Okay, there we go. So, perfect. That's what we wanted to see. It went to it, tried to enter the email address, the password, and that's it. Cool. So that's going to go ahead and finish out. All right, let's see what we can do with Playwright. Because what I want to be able to do is use the same selectors from in here to be able to do our Playwright. So let's look at our Playwright test. So let me collapse some stuff. Close out the Selenium for all my Playwright people.
Good guy.
And Mahesh is also interested in Playwright. So let's do some Playwright. Let's go to we have our register. So this is our register test for Playwright. And it's using stuff from the selector that I have over there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create one for the login as well. All right. And we're just going to copy from the register test for Playwright. I'm just going to copy all this and then I'll get rid of what I don't need. Okay, so we go here. We don't need generate info. We have to add this TS ignore thingy. No. And we don't really need this one. You don't need this one. All right. So let me go ahead and we're gonna say open the site. Go to login page. Enter user/password. Login. So, all right. So let's go to this one, and we're gonna say test async page. Let's move this to the side so we can use that as a guide. Let's close this one down. Get more space. And let's close this, right? So let's say we have, start up here. Test. User can log in via login page. Comma, async. Page. Oh, okay. I need the arrow thingy. All right. And now we come in here and we're going to say, and that function that's generating the unique info, I'm able to share it across Selenium, Cypress, and Playwright to use that same function to be able to do, whatever. So we are going, so we don't have to do that though. So let's do await page.goto, and then we're going to say HTTP. We'll definitely create this into like a method later where we can just pass in, like we don't have to always type this in over and over again. .com. And we're gonna close that out. Okay, that's interesting that it gives that suggestion that it's not HTTPS, so that's interesting. Okay, so now we're going to say so let's move this in here. Go to login page. I don't have methods for Playwright yet. But let's say we get started this way. So let's do this to get started, right? If we were to go to, then I can make a method for it afterwards. But we do have the navigation link elsewhere. And then now we should just be able to take this. Need to import the login, but we should be able to go here and say, take the registration out because we're not going to that page, but we're going to login. Now we go here, here, and you see like the power of reusability, right? Because we have this defined elsewhere, we don't have to go and write out the whole code. We can just we don't have to see it. And being if you are at a senior level or a software development engineer and test, then you can make these available so that the people who might not be as familiar with automation and doing the stuff, you're making all these selectors available for them, and then they can just go and do this part, where they're saying, okay, go here and go there and go and do stuff like that. So we go here and we're going to say, just copy. And add this verification. Not that we need it, but we can add it. Make sure we're on the login page. And then let's say we copy this over here. And this is not going to be unique. This is going to be that down. And let's leave that as is. So this should take us through the whole process, right? However, we do want to optimize the code, but we don't have to do it right now at this instance. We can run it just to, I like to run it to see something working, and then we can go and make it better. Here, and let's go and run our play. I can never remember how to run Playwright. Let's see. It. Okay, no Playwright, and then let me see. Oh wait, no, is it? Playwright. What's the folder? Playwright tests. Oh, okay, I was in the right spot. Playwright test, and then login test, and okay. So I don't know. Let's see what unknown command. All right, let's look up the documentation. Oh, every single week I have to look up this documentation, don't I? All right, so let's see. What does Playwright say? Running an example test, npx Playwright. So how do I specify which test I want to run? Let me see. So we want it to be headed so we can see it. We want the project to be WebKit, run a specific test. So Playwright test landing. Okay, so there we go. So we got it. So we're gonna say Playwright, or we need npx Playwright test, and then we're going to say Playwright test login test, and we're gonna say project WebKit for Chrome, and we're going to say headed so we can see it. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Running one test using one worker. User can log in via the login page. We should see a browser open up, I hope. And we did not. Why not? I did not see it pop up. Maybe I have to add it before. Let's try that again. I thought I should have seen it pop up. Let's go to see if that does a difference. I didn't see anything. I mean, it passed, but I didn't see anything. Let's try running it in UI mode. All right, something happened. Am I supposed to do something? Oh, I guess we can walk through. We highly recommend running your test with UI mode to better develop experience. You can easily walk through each step of the test. Oh my gosh. We have to actually press play. Oh, okay, we got something happening back here. Cool. So, I mean, there goes Playwright. Got 4 minutes left. We can that's pretty cool. And that's the thing I was mentioning, Mahesh, about Playwright. I like these features because Selenium doesn't offer this out of the box, right? So for Playwright to offer this stuff out of the box, especially having this UI mode and stuff, that's pretty cool. The parts that like the thing about Playwright that they don't have a way to do yet is the mobile testing. Which mobile testing is becoming really big. App testing is becoming really big. So, and that part, when you use Appium is built on top of Selenium. So it just depends. Like you gotta pick the best tool for the job. This Pluto is WebStorm, right? I am not a fan of VS Code just because I don't know. It's just weird for me. I've always been using like the JetBrains products, IntelliJ, PyCharm, WebStorm. So that's why I gravitate to this. It's just I don't have to like click save. Like that's probably one of the biggest things. I don't have to actually save stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah. So let's go and let's run the report for. How do you get that report? Let's see. I think it's like show report. Oh, there it goes. NPX. It's right there. NPX Playwright. I don't think I'm at the command line. Hold on. All right. NPX Playwright show report. It's gonna show you a pretty cool report too. Okay, so if we go to the other screen, this is the Playwright report. Which is pretty cool, right? I like it. I like it. And you can take screenshots and stuff like that in there. So what I want to do in the last few minutes that we have left, let's go to but Pluto, definitely hit me up if you want to learn coding, especially with like what you know already, right? I can, and you have like the Udemy access, Udemy for Business. I can, I can definitely recommend some stuff to you, and we can talk about that. So yeah, definitely hit me up. You know how to find me. All right. What I would want to do is, so I want to change this. I could throw in some to-dos on here. Create page object here. Now, even if we go a few minutes over, if the timer goes off, we just go a few minutes over, no biggie. Unless you got something to do. I mean, I have stuff to do, but I don't mind spending a little bit more time here. So let's say we were to go to pages. See, I might have to move these, right? Because I can't. Oh, I could probably do something that would be kind of crazy, but you never know. I'm passing page locator here. Let's try one. Let's just try one. So if I was to go into here, let's go to login objects. That one would probably be easier to do, right? And I was to say, let me see. Ooh. Let's see if we do this. Work with me here. Work with me here. Kids, do not try this at home. All right. Don't try this at home.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Where did this page come from? Where did this page come from? Ah, okay. So let's see. I'm gonna live life on the wild side for a second here, okay? Good guy. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, okay? So let's go here. And let's go here. And we say if I'm here, I could let me think. And this is where my brain gets a little scary, right? Because I'm like, how far can I push the limit, you know? How far can I push it to the limit? How can I get this one method to support both? Because I would have to, if I use that, I'd have to do both. So what I want to do is pass in I don't see myself. All right, let me see something. 'Cause this should give me an error for putting the same name in here. Right? Yeah. Duplicate identifier. Let me see something. Page of okay. But this is a problem because they're the same thing. But let me see. This is, and this is WebDriver. Crazy. What I want to do is use the same method, but I don't think I'll be able to. That's gonna be my thought experiment. That's gonna be my thought experiment. How can, maybe I can't do it, but all right, what I'll do for now, just so we can get this to work for tonight, but I'll be thinking about it, right? I am going to do a new directory, but I would love to do just one. Let's see, we copy this. Let me go put this in here. Refactor. And then here, I do a copy in here. And I go here. And we go here. And what I'm going to do in here is take this out. And then this is going to become page and test. And then this is going to become put this next to one another. I really, really want them to be part of the same thing though. But you know, it is what it is. Let's go to here. We're gonna say page dot locator, and we can get rid of this, rid of that, and then that's gonna be fill. All right, so let's put this back up over here, and let's finish it. All right, we'll finish this, and then we will we'll wrap it up for tonight, right? But we're making the one for Playwright. We're making the page object for Playwright, and we are sharing the selectors across all projects. And then maybe next week we'll start off with well, next week we'll figure out what happens then. But next time we work on free mind recovery. We'll figure out we'll start off on Cypress. So let's finish that. So page and then test, and this is going to be page locator, and let's get out of that. There's got to be a way to find, like, to be able to share it, but it's not traditional, I'll tell you that. But I am crazy like that. If I could pass, nah, that's not gonna work. I gotta think about it, because that would be really, really cool. But let's go to page locator, and does it just click for that? Oh, okay, got this one. Oops, test page, 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 and we have that. Login to website. So now if we go back to our login and we do an import, login from pages, login, Playwright, login test objects. And we go down over here and we say, let's just do await login dot login to website page, and then we say email address and the password, which is not our password, but the password. And we got that done. Let's get rid of these. Now we don't even have to import. We don't even have to import these fields anymore, because they are being taken care of by our page object. And if we were to run this again, we should be able to, and then we could we'll do the same thing next time for the account and the login and the sign in thing, like we did, but time is of the essence, so we just create it, and then we can organize this to put this in a Selenium one next time. It's highly unlikely that you're going to be using Selenium and Playwright and Cypress in the same repo. This is just for experimentation purposes, that we're just having some fun doing that, all right? So let's go ahead and stop this. And let's see if it works, right? The moment of truth. The moment of truth. So we're going to run the same test. I don't know why it's not popping up, but let's do it UI so we can see it. right, it pops up. Let's make it bigger so we can see it. And we're going to press the play button. Let's see if it takes us to where we want it to go. And something passed. Let's see what happened. So let's see. Oh, look at that. It still works. It still works. And that, my friends, is how we optimize our automation code so that we don't have a bunch of rogue. We don't like rogue. We don't have a bunch of rogue code all over the place. All right. So let's go back. Let's close this out. Let's go to here. So we just replaced. Let me show you real quick. So we got this code over here, and we got this code over here. All of it gone. So remember this right here. If you saw the streams in the past, right? This, like, our code was horrendous, right? It was horrendous. We had, let's see if we look at this, right? And then we had like all the selectors laid out. It was bad. I should have saved it, but now, even like to make it even cleaner, because even in here we'll fix these as well. But if we go to this one right here, we got rid of these 3 lines of code, right? No, this is the wrong file. Don't do that. So we got rid of this because these 3 lines. So Pluto, what's happening over here is these 3 lines of code, they are all part of this one line of code now, right? So if we get rid of this, because inside of here, they're actually here. So what happens is this makes it it makes it a lot easier and faster and cleaner to clean up. Like, so let's say you have to change something, right? Let's say they add a captcha or some additional step, right? You can just go into one spot and take care of it. So I have this one line of code representing a bunch of lines of code, right? And then I also don't need to have all these extra things that aren't being used, because when you have extra stuff that's not being used, it's going to slow down your program. So that's what I'm doing here. So let's get rid of that. And we are pretty much done for tonight. Let me see if we have, let me see. So let me take a look at this first. It says, so Selenium is for clickiness of the UI. And yes, Selenium, Playwright. So the one that we just did right now was Playwright. The one that we were doing earlier today was Selenium. And then there's another one that I didn't get to today, which is Cypress. They're all for like clicking around websites and stuff like that for the UI, so that you can make sure that, it works, So yeah, so like Selenium is like the most popular one, but then Playwright is pretty new, but it's getting a lot of popularity. And then Cypress has some popularity as well. All right. Okay, so let's go to full screen because we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. Let me send a text real quick. I gotta send this text message. All right. So we answer that, and then all this to click a button. Yeah, I mean, and this is what I've been doing for the past, what year are we in, for the past, since 2012, I've been doing this, and we have to, and now like we're into API testing. I like in my current role nowadays, I do video pipeline testing and stuff like that. So, there's so many different things that you can do, but you have to, a lot of people, they want to be able to do the cool stuff, but they don't even know how to do the beginning. So it's precepts upon precepts, and as you follow along, it'll start making more sense. And as we get into coding, it's gonna be good, right? So that being said, we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. It's already 10 o'clock, right? I had tons and tons of fun. The crazy garage with the crazy kid and all that stuff. I really had no idea what was going on. I was like, what? Like, is somebody coming in? I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyways. That's gonna be one for the ages. That is gonna be one for the ages. All right. I'm just absorbing all this info in my limited brain cells, but will come in handy when I have a heat flash dreaming of coding. Hey, I've dreamt about coding so many times, right? So hey, welcome to the family. Welcome to the team. That's our second night hanging out with Pluto.
I appreciate you.
So awesome. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't done so yet, do me a huge favor: like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. If you need one-on-one coaching, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev. Spots are getting very limited, especially at the highest tier. We do have the middle tier where you get sometimes some, but it's not as much as the highest tier where we really get into it. All right. So anyways, before we go, Mitch, you know what time it is, right? Mitch, you know what time it is. I have a question for you guys, right? Mitch says W2 ops coming through the for real. That was crazy. I have to go watch that back and see my reaction because I was like, what in the world? That's gonna be I might have to edit that. I am back Sunday. Yes, I am back Sunday. This Sunday we are going to get after it. We might pivot this Sunday to look at the Devin AI because I read about it in Reddit, but I didn't get a chance to look into it yet. So we might find out if I have to see if it's something that's actually usable right now, and we might try it out. But if not, we'll stick to Terraform because we're always working. We are always working. All right. So no stream tomorrow morning, but we are going to be definitely streaming on Sunday afternoon. And if anything else comes up in between that, then we'll make it happen. All right. So my question to you guys, as always.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I know you guys are here for so much more, but we gotta make it entertaining. And I remember I was in a Discord and somebody said, I was doing a software engineering bootcamp, but I quit because I found it boring. And that broke my heart. That broke my heart because tech can be boring, but you can make it yours. Make it yours, right? Why would we settle for less because it's boring when we're the most fun people in the world, right? We are the most fun people in the world. Because the last thing I want to hear you say is,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
I do not want to hear you. I do not want you to hear you. I don't want to hear you say that, right? We don't have to be in a bind. We can have fun. We can get to the bag. We can learn. And we can just go out there and be awesome, all right? So, like you guys know, yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. Because as my good friend Marlo says,
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
And we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes may defeated, and their lands are now bow before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination. These are the very essence of our people. The spirit of our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles upon us forth. Let the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.